All right, next up from NYC, who is really an NYC, Bert Lee.
Bert Lee.
Alrighty, can you hear me?
Yes,
Excellent. How about the guitar?
yes.
Hi there, everybody. And thank you, John, for inviting me back to this thing. I really enjoy this, and I really admire the way you put this together. It's an epic thing. I put together little 4-hour shows from here, there, and I think that's great. But this is mind-boggling. So I'm just going to do some original tunes for you. That's what I do. And I'm going to start off with a tune that I wrote when I was wandering through Arizona. And I stopped at a little roadside bar, and there was this band there. And the thing was that these people were just out there. It wasn't just the strange mixture of instruments they had, it was how weirdly they mixed their set with whatever kind of music they wanted. So this is a song about cultural diversity, because that's what I like. Well, I've just come down to tell you about some music that I've heard. It's the band that plays on weekends down in Eddie's Crossroads Bar. They live out behind the diner in a bus that's up on blocks. If they ever get it rolling, I believe that they'll go far. Their leader's Alexander with his double-neck guitar, who comes from Spain by way of San Francisco. And his girlfriend is Elena from the hills of Bogota. When he met her, she was dancing in a disco. And the name of the band is The Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. Their drummer is Matsui. He's a Japanese Hawaiian. He grew up playing country blues in Memphis, Tennessee. He drops his one right on the bar and then he kicks 2 and 4. And sometimes you can find him with the banjo on his knee. And there's Jazzy Jan from Amsterdam, who fills in all the leads on the saxophone, sitar, and balalaika. And Brooklyn Bob's the sound man, he's the master of the mix. He could keep a shine on 1956 Formica. Oh, these are the pieces that make up their sound and the people that make up their world. The name of the band is The Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. Now Eddie tries to manage them, but he doesn't have a clue about the market niche where he should try to sell them. Or when the business people ask him about the bag they occupy, he doesn't have a notion or what to tell them. There's a taste of gypsy zydeco and a hint of western swing, some polka, blues, and psychedelic soul. Throw in some mariachi and a lick of funky funk, and your mama and your papa's rock and roll. It's a crazy quilt pattern, kaleidoscope, rainbow design on the flag they unfurl. The name of the band is The Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. They've got lyrics like the Beatles, they've got lyrics like the Dead, they've got lyrics like the Kingsmen where you're not sure what they said. Oh, but when they start to harmonize, all the angels shut their mouth. It's all about the unity of Northeast, West, and South. Now these are the pieces that make up their sound and the people that make up their world. The name of the band is The Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. It's a crazy quilt pattern, kaleidoscope, rainbow design on the flag they unfurl. And the name of the band is the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. There you go. That's the Sad Spanish Man and the Beautiful Indian Girl. Now, there was a challenge in the air. I don't know if it was real or not, that we should do a drop D tuning. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't like to untune my guitar because I go all brain farty and I can never get my low string back in tune. But I have a way of dealing with this, which is that I use capos to create drop tunes. In this case, I'm putting a capo across my 3rd fret all the way, and a partial capo, which sounds like some sort of strange affliction. I'm sorry, sir, but you've got partial capo. I'm putting it across my 5th fret, and there you go. I have instant, well, maybe not so instant, semi-instant oatmeal drop G. This tune is dedicated to my wife. We get into bad moods. She gets into one. I get into one. It's a good thing that we usually do it at separate times, but sometimes we do it at the same time together, and that's always a disaster. The last time that happened, we went for a walk in our neighborhood, and as we were walking along the street, I saw a butterfly come tumbling off a bush and land on a statue of Bela Lugosi. I can't explain it. It's all true, as Dracula. And she looked at me and said, "Butterflies and vampires," and a song was born. She believes in butterflies and vampires, sweet dreams and dark desires, a gentle breeze or a stormy sea, at ease or troubled in her skin, depending on the mood she's in. She can change like the summer rain that turns into a hurricane, and still be laughing through her pain, dancing like a weather vane with every sudden turn of wind, depending on the mood she's in. When I see the cloud above her, I give her room because I love her. If every day is sink or swim, I let her stumble, start again. Oh, that's the kind of love I'm in. That's the kind of love I'm in. And if at times she sings her song in some dark or minor key, I would never say she's wrong. As long as she sings just for me, it may be hard, but in the end, I know we'll find our way again. Ah, that's the kind of love we're in. That's the kind of love we're in. I believe in ordinary miracles, flowers sleeping in their seeds, rainbows inside water beads, a passing cloud, then the sun again, depending on the mood she's in. And if at times she sings her song in some dark or minor key, I would never say she's wrong. As long as she sings just for me, it may be hard, but in the end, I know we'll find our way again. Oh, that's the kind of love we're in, depending on the mood she's in. That's the kind of love we're in, depending on the mood. There you go. And now, so further adventures of partial capo time. I started playing. I sometimes go back and I find old songs that I wrote a long time ago and I make them better. And I recommend that to all songwriters. Never throw your notebooks away. Don't do it, because there might be a golden gem lurking in that little trash pile that you'll come back to later and discover the reason you wrote it. So this tune is called The Blackbird and the Scarecrow, and it is one such song. Blackbird sitting on a fence post, laughing like he knows some kind of joke. I fail to see what's so funny. My whole world just went up in smoke. Won't you let me in on the joke? Scarecrow dancing in a cornfield, dancing while the wind blows him around. Sometimes I feel like that scarecrow, watching over my dry patch of ground, while the wind just blows me around. There's a strange kind of music in the branches of the trees, like a song in a broken guitar. And those crows on a fence don't make any more sense than some crazy fools in a bar who sing a broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz. Blackbird flies over to the Scarecrow. It doesn't scare him a bit. It just sits on his shoulder to mock him and laughs at his own senseless wit. That Scarecrow doesn't scare him a bit. Blackbird, fly away from my shoulder. Blues, fly away from my heart. I've had this shadow upon me, oh darling, since we've been apart. Oh, blues, fly away from my heart. There's a weird melody that hangs in the breeze, like a calliope gone out of tune. And those crows sing a song that's all busted and wrong by the cold light of the old crooked moon. They sing a broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz, a broke down honky-tonk waltz. And that's the Blackbird and the Scarecrow. Thank you so much. I want to thank you folks for listening. Do I have time for one more, John?
Oh, absolutely. You have 13 more minutes.
The time just doesn't go flying by. I guess I write short songs. If you like my songs, you can find me at Bandcamp, bertlee.bandcamp.com. And I'm always easy to find there because it's my name, Bert Lee, Bertlee. And you can also find me on everything except the Spotify kinds of things. I really don't like that deal. But you can find me on YouTube as well as videos of my live streams. And coming up soon, videos of songwriters and musicians' song showcases, which I'll be doing much in the same style as John, but not as time-wise ambitious. I'll be doing 3 or 4 hours every month of songwriters that I've collected over the country who I think are really worth your attention. This tune goes back about 8 years, but it's a pretty timely song for now. river slides down the mountainside. The ocean wide receives it. The tenderness of the sweet winds bless. The open heart believes it. The past is done and we stand as one. In this world the time is made, and the day may come when we rise as one, as our better angels pray. Now the sunlight pours into my eyes and yours, as the colors dance in wonder. The rain has passed and we hear at last the fading drums of thunder. It's a brand new age, an unwritten page, looking for the song inside us. Let the verses flow with the love that grows as our better angels guide us. Children all, when these promises were made, and what once was spoken remains unbroken as our better angels pray. Our music starts in our inmost hearts before our mouths can sing it. Let these harmonies rise on tides of peace. May our better angels na, na. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that. I do a lot of writing right in this very room. Over there, where you can't see because the camera's pointed this way, is my workstation. And when I can't write songs, which has been a lot recently, but for some reason I'm having brain farts about songs, I work on my novels. And a few years ago I published my first one. It was called Dead Man's Coat. And story of my grandfather. And when I couldn't write words on the page, I would pick up my guitar and try to write a song that summed up some aspect of his life. He was a 13-year-old boy, a runaway from Ireland during the Civil War, and he came over here to America and had an enormous number of adventures in Colorado territory. So this song is called Dead Man's Coat, and it's about the chain of fathers in this world. I left my shoes in Dublin. I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left it all behind me and I stowed on to a boat. I left it all behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. They say I killed my father, but I only stole his name. He was murdered by a bottle, but I'll gladly share the blame. Murdered by a bottle, and maybe death has set him free. Now if I could only lose his ghost that hides inside of me. His ghost is in my mirror, and his ghost is in my mind. It's living underneath my skin, and it won't be left behind. I tried my best to kill it, but the damn thing never dies. It stands so hard above me, with whiskey in its eyes. Well, here is my confession, for whatever it is worth. I'm haunted by my father, just like every man on earth. I'm haunted by my father, like every ordinary Jake. He stands so hard above me, like a storm about to break. I'm sailing to America just to find what might be found. I'll throw these memories overboard, and I'll pray that they stay drowned. I'll throw these memories overboard to be swallowed by the sea. Now if I could only lose this ghost that hides inside of me. I left my shoes in Dublin. I borrowed a dead man's coat. I left the rest behind me, and I stowed on to a boat. I left the rest behind me to be swallowed up by time. If they ever come and find me, may they pardon me my crime. And
Wow, what a song.
well, I'm glad you like that. Glad you like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish up with a song about neighborhoods and people moving into them and people getting along with each other, and it's an important song to me because I went through this recently, and it's a very true song. This song is called Water Everywhere. Our old Italian neighborhood has turned Chinese, maybe for good. Water, water everywhere. The ghetto has been gentrified. The first folks have been pushed aside. Doesn't matter if it's fair. It's the same thing everywhere. The Indians that once lived here, they made their trade in hunting deer. Water, water everywhere. They made a bargain with the Dutch that really didn't leave them much, but the Dutchmen didn't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Now the hippies have all moved upstate. The hipsters came to take their place. Maybe the only difference is the hair. And the little shops you could afford to shop in once, they now are boarded. But the building owners, they don't care. Money, money everywhere. Well, the water just goes where it will. You know it always flows downhill. Rivers running everywhere. And who are you and I to kid? It just does what it always did. Just goes where it's meant to be, flowing till it finds the sea. Water, water everywhere. The music clubs have all shut down. Now New York is a rich man's town. Doesn't matter if it's fair. And the only music that remains is while you're waiting for the trains. You can tip them if you care. So much free music everywhere. Well, the money just goes where it must. It's all about the boom or bust. Buddy, have you got a dime to spare? And who are you and I to kid? It settles for the lowest bid. The bottom line is where it goes. That's just the way the money flows. Doesn't matter if it's fair. Now in my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. It's the same thing everywhere. No matter where they come from, friend, they're only people in the end. It's not their fault they had to settle there. People, people, people everywhere. People trying just to be everywhere like you and me, like water flowing to the sea, going where we're meant to be. Water, 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 water everywhere. Thank you all. Thank you, John, for inviting me in, and thank you all you lovely musicians for providing the world with your beautiful music. We all need to support each other and support all the good causes, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I hope you come by and visit me when I do my live stream showcases, which will be called An Ocean of Songs on YouTube. And also make sure you drop by my site at bertlee.bandcamp.com. So long, everybody.
Well, you know, our next performer is not here. Our next performer is not here, so do you want to...
Oh, really?
I know,
Well,
I'm sorry, it snuck up on me. I'm going to message her.
Okay, well, if you'd like, I'll do another song just to fill the time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating what I do. It's fun. It's definitely fun. Here's another song about my grandfathers. This time, both of my grandfathers. I mixed the two of them up in one song while I was writing the book Dead Man's Coat. The song is called "The Cowboy from Boston." Well, he played an old fiddle made over in Europe, recited the poets and quoted the bards, rode out of the east on a QuaranPalooza. The cowboy from Boston with a sleeve full of cards, with a hey diddle ho riding high in the saddle, a pearl-handled pistol and a master's degree. Come 3,000 miles to the streets of Seattle to wet his fine whistle on some fresh Chinese tea. East Coast goes west to meet Far East, you see. A good man bad depends on just who's talking. He bluffed like a champion or he lied like a snake. The ladies all swooned when he twirled his mustaches, and they snuck out the back door to bring him some cake with a hey diddle ho riding over the prairie. Fancy pants, holsters, real silver spurs. The music he fiddled was so fine and airy. Looking up in the sky, he could name all the stars. He knew all his history and the generals and wars. He rode down the coast to the West Texas border, to the Mexican desert where the summer was fierce. He got all caught up in good revolution. He fought at the side of an old man named Beers. With a Viva Zapata he gave a lot of holler, his gentleman's clothing all spattered with mud. He shot like a bandit, but he talks like a scholar. The cowboy from Boston, all hell-bent for blood. The cowboy from Boston won't come to no good. Not too far from Houston, he stopped a stray bullet, and the last words he said lifted right off the page. It was something he'd learned from the poet of Avon, how all men are players and life is a stage. With a viva la vida, that was how fate had planned it. There's no one can say once that hand rolls the bones. He talked like a scholar, but he shot like a bandit. The cowboy from Boston come a long way from home. The cowboy from Boston laying under some stones. The cowboy from Boston come a long way from home.
Yay, thank you, Bert.
Alrighty, you guys all set on your end there?
We're good now. Thank you.
Alrighty, so thank you so much, John, for allowing me to slip an extra tune in there. God bless you all. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's